Are you tired of the rat race in America? Are you ready to visit the motherland to relax and rejuvenate? Are you ready to explore all that Africa has to offer? Then check out the brand new Diversified Game Academy course, Prepare for My First Trip to Africa. Are you worried about being able to afford the trip? We got you. We will show you how to travel either on a budget or as a baller. Learn how to stress the value of the USD. Did you know that 100 United States dollars is worth over 1,000 South African rand or 10,000 Kenyan shillings or 54,250 West African CFA? Are you worried about taking your kids? Get the game from Kellen Cash, a bona fide world traveler, having traveled to almost 20 countries, several of those in Africa. Get the game on taking your kids on their first trips. Learn how to find the best tickets, get the visas, and plan your own adventures in Africa. Don't let Eddie Murphy have all the fun. Plan your own coming to Africa trip starring you, produced by you, and featuring you. If you are ready for a life-changing experience, sign up for our course today, Diversified Game Academy. Get prepared and purchase at diversifiedgame.com.
Finding the right real estate professional can be challenging. I'm broker Melissa Wilson. I'm knowledgeable in all aspects of the real estate process. So whether you're looking to buy new or an existing home or have a commercial need, I'm here to help.
Make sure you pick up my two books that's in Amazon right now. The first one is Passive-Aggressive Racism and the System of White Supremacy. And I talk about in that particular book how the system of white supremacy really runs and on our daily lives here in America. In our latest book, 7 Steps to Decolonize the Mind, we go through those steps to try to deprogram you from the system of white supremacy. Make sure you can pick up those books on Amazon.com.
Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
At African Diaspora News Channel, we cover stories that don't receive mainstream attention, and we serve as the voice to the global Black community. We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media, connecting the African diaspora one story at a time.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are here. We are live. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to show up on time this evening because my little girl, she got out of school and she's being part of this club, academic club, and so I had to go run to the uniform store because they have to wear like this blazer and and khakis and all that sort of thing they got to wear to be in this academic club. Something I've never done before, right? Mostly what her mom has done. And so I'm charting new territory. I get her mom on FaceTime though. But anyway, so we get the pants and then I have to leave from there because they ran out of the blazer and the shirts and all that. So I had to go run to JCPenney and all that and got that what we needed. So I say, and I ran back in here and I'm like, Lord, I gotta hurry up, throw on my shirt. I said, ain't gonna be no shirt and tie today. It's gonna be just a shirt today. So I'm here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here. Like I said, I wear many hats, and Dad is one of them. Dad is one of my hats. I remember one point in time in my life, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't think I would even have kids. Not because I didn't want them. No. Not because I didn't want kids. I'm not like these new age people. I don't want no kids. No. I've always wanted to have some kids. Because I remember the old people would tell you at least need to have one, 2 preferably, but at least one. And I'm like, well, I used to say like, why should you have kids? And say, listen, it's all good when you're young, But when you get old and you get sick, need somebody to take you to the doctor, or let's say if something happened to you, right? You can break an arm, a leg, or something. You don't know. And if you go, of course, you got a great relationship with your child and all of that, your child, you can call on your child. If you have none of them, you can't call on them. Because, you know, I've seen a lot of people today, you know, that's why I don't even look at some people what they say on the internet, because I look into the real world. But there was another gentleman that I just saw, you know, talked about an issue that happened with him. And he has no wife, he has no children, and he's dealing with a horrible situation. That's why the old people always say, yeah, you need you somebody in your life. You need you a wife, you need you some children, you know. But hey, shout out to y'all. Y'all think y'all know better, and bless y'all with that. But yeah. So I got kids, you know, I'm a dad. So, and family is a beautiful thing, you know. Family is a beautiful thing. It's like that. And you know, today, see, my little girl's a lot like me, because we were walking in the mall and she said, yeah, they was talking about at school, Kamala Harris. So it's like, let me ask you a question. What does a vice president do? I want to know exactly what they do. So, you know, we walking and talking, and I'm telling her, you know, what they do and the function. And, you know, hey, Kamala Harris is basically the president of the Senate. You know, of course, you know what the Senate is, and she can break a tie. And I was explaining, you know, if something happens to the president, she becomes the president. You know, if he gets sick or something, you got to have a procedure. She steps in the role as the president. So, you know, I was explaining to her that, you know, in this particular presidency, Joe Biden makes sure to keep her next to him, and she was involved in a lot of decisions, you know, so she was a little bit more involved than maybe other vice presidents. So we was having conversation, you know. See, my little girl be asking me them kind of questions. It was out of the blue. That's why she reminded me of me, because when I was a little boy, I used to do that. I'm like, hey, let me ask you a question, you know. So I always try to have an answer. And if not, I say, hey, well, let's Google it, or let's go to Chat GPT. Let's go see what it say, you know, because I always say that I want my children to be better than me. You know, I want her to be better than me. I want all of them to be better than me. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't want your kids to be better than you, something wrong with you. Just saying. All right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all coming in here early. Just chatting with y'all. Just chatting with y'all. Because them kids grow up so fast, I'm telling you. And they grown like this, and they doing their thing. So cherish that time you got with them. Some of y'all want y'all kids to grow up so fast. I'm telling you, I've been there, done that. It's a blurring time that you got them, and then they living their own life. You know what I'm saying? So, you say, do I believe he's secretly sabotaging her presidential campaign? It's not secretly. He's openly doing it, in my opinion. But that's a conversation of a different day. We're not having that conversation today. Also, I'm looking at Damon here. I didn't see Damon. Damon says he voted earlier today in Georgia against Blue. It felt good. Yeah, they just said that Georgia had record turnout today, even after the Republicans put in the election law. They had record turnout. Wow, that wasn't like Jim Crow, was it? But we're going to talk about the greatest vice president of the United States of America, Kamala Harris, tonight. We're going to talk about her. We're going to go through her plan for black men. See, we're not going to just talk about it or talk about her. We're going to actually go through it. What does it say? Is it, hey, did she turn over a new leaf? What is it? Even though she decided to do this with about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, you know, that's kind of close, right? You're trying to win the Super Bowl. But she put this out. So we're going to go through it. Dartho say, who wrote that plan, apparently having a blunt is important to black men. Well, we're going to go through it. Let's see. Let's see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead on jump on this quick. You know, hey, let's get inspired by the greatest mayor of America, Tiffany Henyard. Then we'll be right back.
Hey guys, it's Super Mayor Tiffany A. Henyard, the people's mayor.
Y'all forget I am the leader. They want to hear from the mayor. If y'all ain't learned that yet, the mayor, not the trustees that don't do nothing, that only run their mouth. Y'all don't do no work.
What is that?
No comment. Y'all should be ashamed of y'allself. Y'all black. Y'all are black. And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's in power. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves.
So this is what it's all about, guys. They don't want a black person in power. They don't want a woman in power. If you ain't seen that yet. And someone so young. Everybody gotta understand, God give you what you can handle. That's what God give you. He ain't gonna give you more than that. As long as you can stay the course, fight the fight, and keep going, that's what we're gonna do here at Thornton Township.
Clerk, what are you doing? You out of order. You out of order. Did I call the roll? Did I say call the roll? I'm still speaking. You're out of order, Clerk Key. You out of order, Clerk Key. Like, stop. Y'all out of order. Everybody want to run stuff. Y'all don't run this house over here. Stop, please.
So now you have to listen in order to learn. Remove her. Remove her.
That's what all the hate is all about. It's all about your super mayor became too powerful too quick. So rare, so unique, and that's what everybody got a problem with. It's all about control. And I stand in the fight because I want the boys and girls of the next generation to see what it looks like to come out of controversy and to come out of all the hatred unscathed. At the end of the day, God gives the test to his strongest soldiers. Throughout all the controversy, throughout all the drama, all the naysayers, all the haters, and I see some of y'all in the line. Let me flip the camera around so you can see them in the line. Whoop, there she go. Look, right there, right there. Whoop, that part. But they'll tell you that. Then they get in a little hate group. But you in my line, getting food, your kids out here bouncing in the bouncy house, you on the skate rink, all that. To actually stand in a fire while doing it, and guess what? Doing good and looking good too at the same time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was your super mayor, the greatest mayor in America, right? Tiffany's being the Teflon Tiffany for right now. Them folks, like I said, they probably get up at her before the end of the year. I hate to see that for her, but hey, Tiffany, you're doing a little too much, sis. All right. Class in session. Get ready, for with your pens and paper, and let's go. Let's talk about your Vice President of the United States. Early voting. If early voting is in your state, do it now. Do it early. Don't get caught up in the long lines on November the 5th or the craziness of that. Just do it early. Get it over with. Walk in, walk out. That's the best thing you can do if you're going to participate. Now, if you're choosing the couch, that's your business, right? We vote in Texas next week, the 21st. It actually is right around the corner from my crib, so can't wait. All right, so your Vice President of the United States of America, Kamala Debbie Harris, if you want to go all the way there, she has put up a plan specifically for black men. Now, why would she do something like that? Did black men say, you need to put up a plan specifically for us? We didn't say that. I haven't heard no black man say, you need to do a plan only for black men. We said, well, how many times have we said we need an anti-black hate crime bill, which that means black men and black women. We've said we need reparations. That includes black men and black women, right? We didn't ask for a gender divide policy because we're all in this community together. And most black men and women, we talking about in the real world, they are together. We rock with each other no matter what. We can have our issues and problems. Yes, we do. But when the rubber meets the road, I can tell you from going all over in different countries where other black people are at, black Americans are the closest and tight-knit group of black folks in the world. So, number one, I wasn't asking for a plan for black men. And many of you other brothers wasn't asking for a plan specifically for black men. See, the Democrat Party, before we get into this, has been great on gender divide. First, they was doing all this black woman, ooh, black women, backbone of the party. Ooh, black girl magic, black girl this, black girl that. And unfortunately, some, not all, but some sisters ate that apple, unfortunately. And in the end, they give them all this praise, but yet they don't give them nothing in the end. They may give them some token positions to individuals, but you don't get something for the even the greater good. When they do put up a black woman at the Supreme Court, it's not your regular everyday sister. It's a black woman that can't even tell you what a woman is. And you know what? God, I wish somebody would have asked Barack Obama that question when he said, "Y'all, you won't vote for a woman?" Hey, Mr. Obama, what is a woman? Because I don't know what we're talking about. So what is a woman? Because Ketanji Brown Jackson act like she was asked at that time. I never forget when she was asked that question. I'm sitting in a hotel room in South Africa watching the confirmation. And when she asked her that question, what do you mean? What do you, like she asked her like some astrophysicist formula when she asked her, what is a woman? And that's what y'all need to tell. Anytime they try to shame you about, you just don't want to vote for a woman, just say, what is a woman? Can you explain to me what a woman is? Because I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Define a woman. All right. So let's go on and get to your Vice President of the United States and what she got going on. Let me just slide on down here. Ah, there we go. Boom. There it is. Right there. Kamala Harris will deliver for black men. I'd rather her say she delivered for the black community, not just black men. I'm just saying as a black man. I'm not asking to be prioritized over the sisters in the community. I think we should be prioritized together. We rise and fall together, right? All right, so there she go. Look at her, y'all. Look at her. See, she in the midst of all those brothers. She's smiling and all of that. You know, let me tell you something, Vice President Kamala Harris. If you would have stayed in that community right there where you were at, you probably would win the election if you would have stayed there the whole time. But you didn't do that, right? So you can't send Doug to go talk to those men. Matter of fact, you should send Doug to actually go talk to the men in his community, but you're not doing that. And that's an issue for you because you should be talking to white men too. All right. Vice President Harris would deliver for black men and their families. Okay, how she's going to do that? Vice President Harris is laying out an agenda to give black men the tools to build wealth and achieve financial freedom. Okay, all right, let's get it. Lower costs for themselves and their families and protect their rights, addressing the issues that black men across the country have told her are their top concerns. All right, so black men hollered at you. All right. Number one bullet point, provide 1 million forgivable loans up to $20,000 to black entrepreneurs and others. Oh, man, Vice President Harris. Oh, you did it. Who have a good idea, but don't have the resources, connections, or access to capital to get their business off the ground. Y'all, class, this is the language problem right there, class, right there. We know from experience as black Americans with the trick bag language that these people play with us. And you know, on people like myself and many others on these microphones is going to point out the trick language that we're seeing. See, it would be okay if it said black entrepreneurs, but when you put up here and others, who are the others? Because our experience is that if we say, oh yeah, this is great, the others is going to get the loans and the black entrepreneurs is going to get the scraps. Hello. We know that's how it's been going, y'all. We know this. And why forgivable loans? Why can't it be grants? Grants you don't have to pay back. Why a loan? You understand what I'm saying? Let's go to the next one. Launch a national health equity initiative focused on black men. I really would prefer you to focus on black people. You think black women don't have health issues that we deal with? Look, black women got the same health issues minus prostate cancer, but they have issues like with heart disease, diabetes, sickle cell anemia, all different issues that black people deal with. So it should be black people if you're going to do health. How is it that you want to just focus on the health of black men, but not focus on the health of black women? I'm just sorry. I'm just saying that this, I'm looking at this. This is a problem for me more than even and others. Legalize marijuana at the federal level to break down unjust legal barriers that hold black men and other Americans back, right? So let's talk about that real quick. We're going to come back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to come back to it. Just give me a second. We're going to come back to this. So Vice President Harris, you're telling me when you deliver to black men, that is a top concern for us as black men? I don't really hear black men running around here talking about, man, I want her to legalize this marijuana. Now, let me tell you my position on that, just my personal position. I don't think it should be criminalized at all. No, I don't smoke. No, I don't eat edibles. I don't do any of that. But I understand that they use that particular plant to lock black people up. The majority of black people aren't locked up on like terrorism, violating women, unaliving people. No. They're not. A lot of them are jailed on offenses like that. And so when I looked at the research of when Colorado had made theirs legal, it dropped the arrest rate for black people, I think by 99% in that one area. You can empty them prisons like that. But the offense part is if you're going to do something for black people or black men in particular, we're not worried about no weed. We're really not. That's not something we're thinking about. It's not. And a lot of brothers are offended that you would say, because you just said that talking to black men on the campaign trail, and I can't believe a black man will come up to you and all the problems that we have, the economy, we have problems with gas prices, we have problems with the migrant crisis, we got problems with all this stuff, but yet when somebody come talk to you, that's what they're mentioning? Really? I seriously doubt that. Let's get back to it. Lower costs by enacting the first ever federal ban on corporate price gouging for food and groceries. I don't know how you're going to do that. And why did you put that in the black men plan? That should have been just for everybody, right? Lower rent and provide down payment assistance to triple the number of new first-time black home owners. The only way you can lower rent, you can't force the landlord to lower rent. This is how you lower rent. You have to have more people in purchasing homes than renting. That's how you lower rent, right? Instead of saying you're going to provide down payment assistance, which could jack up the price, why don't you lower the requirements for the FHA loan, raise the cap on the FHA loan, which that's something that she could do. You'll need Congress to do that, right? The FHA is underneath their administration right now, ladies and gentlemen. They can drop the down, instead of saying a $25,000 down payment, why don't you drop the FHA loan down payment down to 1%? You can do that without even messing with inflation. Because if you inject that much money into the market, they're going to raise the money up. They're going to raise the prices up. Because of that, we're going to create more inflation. That's silly. Just drop the down payment for the FHA loan and increase the cap on the FHA loan. The FHA loan is guaranteed by the U.S. government. Get people in FHA loans to buy homes. It's just that simple. I'm not a rocket scientist, but I've just been living life long enough to understand. All right. Black men deserve a president who would deliver on promises. So Vice President Harris knows that black men have long felt too often their voice in our political process has gone unheard. They say, and that there is so much untapped ambition and leadership within the black male community. Yes, that part is true, but I just don't like this gender divide stuff you're pushing. Black men and boys deserve a president who would provide the opportunity to unleash, this talent and potential by removing historic barriers to wealth creation, education, employment, earnings, health, and improving the criminal justice system. Black men deserve a president who would deliver on promises and equip them with the tools and resources to make their aspirations a reality. Boy, look at the picture they put up with Trump. Boy, I tell you. Now, this is about what she's going to do. Trump name shouldn't even be in it. This should be just your laundry list of what you want to do, right? You talking about targeting black men. If I was going to target black men, I wouldn't even put Trump's name in this stuff, but they can't help themselves. And look, Donald Trump's a serious threat to the lives and opportunities of black Americans and black men. Here we go with the Central Park Five. We again, here's the same old thing, the landlord thing. You talking about the black protesters thugs. Well, actually,
and threatening when the looting starts, shooting starts. Black people wasn't doing the looting as much as white folks are doing. If y'all remember during George Floyd, how many times have they caught white folks looting and destroying stuff and stealing and burning buildings? You remember Antifa? That wasn't black people. Do you remember? Let me get back on camera for this one. Do you remember in L.A., they was trying to deface property, saying Black Lives Matter, and brothers came out there on the block and say, hey, what are y'all doing? Ain't nobody told you to do that, man. What they got to do with black people, what you doing? And it was the little white Antifa ones doing it. They were doing it. We were watching them. Sometimes black people just be peacefully protesting, and they start throwing stuff at cops like they were doing it. It was them. It wasn't black people like that. Some of them, got down, but it wasn't the majority. And let's call it what it is about George Floyd. All them folks came out during George Floyd, not because they cared about George Floyd. I ain't talking about the black people. I'm talking about all the folks and all these others. They didn't care about George Floyd. They were bored. They had cabin fever because remember, everybody was locked down. So they had cabin fever and they just wanted to get into something. They did not care about George Floyd. They had a whole lot of people that were looting and all that stuff outside of black folk. I remember covering this stuff. So you can't tell me nothing about it. I've been doing this for years. Let's get back to your vice president here. As president, he referred to majority of black nations as S-hole countries. He did. Yes, he did. I do remember when he said that. Some people in those countries agreed with him. Some people was offended. But what they got to do with black America at this point? Why did you even put that in there? How is that going to help me as a black man? I don't care about what Trump said. Recently, Trump spread dangerous lies about black Haitians eating the pets of their neighbors. And that you laughed at, too. You laughed when he said it. You didn't look appalled. You laughed. If he's reelected, things will get worse. Of course, here we go. Project 2025, double down. Why are you telling? Oh, my God. What they got to do with black men? He will bring back stop and frisk and enact full immunity. The police got immunity now. Who commit crimes on duty. He'll cut funding for education, Obamacare, Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. He will slap a Trump tax on everything from food to gasoline, rising costs on the average black family by nearly $4,000 or more. Well, right now we're dealing with the Biden-Harris tax. So I mean, you act like y'all better. Like, see, this way you're supposed to go there. He will erase 4 years of financial gains and job growth for black men and leave their communities worse off for it. What gains? I've talked to black men and women. They're not gaining. They're losing right now, ma'am. They're losing. Do you know why all these people talking about Trump? Not because they like him. They're only talking about Trump because of the economics. Not because they like him. Not because they even like Republicans. They don't even like Republicans like that. But what they like is their pocketbook was a lot fatter during his administration. When your administration got in there, ma'am, the pocketbooks start getting thinner. And now black people have to choose, can I buy this to eat? Well, I got to pay this rent. I got to pay these lights. I got to cut back on food. I may have to eat some ramen noodles this week because I don't have money because during your administration, because y'all allowed inflation to go through the roof, insurance payments went sky high. Car insurance, medical insurance, understand? Car prices, when you want to buy a car, went through the roof. Home prices, rent in apartments. Apartments is costing more, just as much as a freaking mortgage. Apartments. This happened underneath y'all administration, ma'am. So this wasn't happening during the Trump administration. You don't have to like him. Who cares about that? It's a lot of people I don't like, but when the truth is the truth, we're paying a tax now that we didn't sign up for. So you probably should have just left that off and just focus on black men. Jesus Lord, y'all obsessed with that man. Okay, so it goes into more detail here. I should provide the tools for black men to build wealth, support their families, and lead their communities. Okay. So And she keeps talking about this opportunity economy where everyone has the opportunity to get by, not just get ahead. She knows black men have felt that too often their voice in our political process has gone unheard, and that there is so much untapped ambition and leadership with the black male community. They say the black men and boys deserve a president who will provide the opportunity to unleash this talent and potential by removing historic barriers to create wealth creation, education, employment, earnings, health, and improving the criminal justice system. Black men deserve a president who deliver on the promises and equip them with the tools and resources to make their aspirations a reality. This is what she says here. Of course, she's going a little bit more into this opportunity economy to help entrepreneurs get capital resources they need to launch and grow their business, to build wealth, strengthen their communities, especially the black male entrepreneurs in Atlanta, Detroit, Charlotte. Share power stories from black men, the biggest hurdles that still make it too difficult for them to get in their businesses off the ground and grow them to meet their full ambitions, and discuss policies that can help break down remaining barriers to success. Let me tell you something. The biggest obstacle, Vice President Harris, let me tell you the biggest obstacle that black people are having, and at least when you're trying to get loans, is the banks. That's the obstacle, the banks. You have the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. They can go after the banks. They can put fines. They can shut banks down. They can even audit the banks. Why didn't you say, you know what? I'm going to use the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and we're auditing every bank in this country, starting with the majors. And we're going to look at how many business loans they're giving out to black Americans, how many they're giving out to white Americans. And we're going to look at every group, and we're going to see who's getting what. We're going to research what their credit score were, why were they denied. We're going to look at all of that, right? And if we see a pattern of white borrowers getting loans with lower credit scores and black borrowers having higher credit scores and still not getting loans, we're going to deal with that bank with their discriminatory practices, and we're going to fine these banks. If they were doing something fraudulent, we're doing whatever they're doing. Some people may see a jail sentence, but we're not going to put up with this in this country, this discrimination at the financial realm, right? That would help black people right there. So y'all understand, we have laws already on the books. We have agencies already on the books that she's in command of right now. They don't need Congress to do what I just told you. It's a lot the president can do on the executive branch with agencies that he or she is in control of. All this appraisal stuff, doing that to black people, lowering their appraisals, black people having to go get a white friend or hire a white person or something to be there so they can get actually a right appraisal. That's out of Jim Crow. And there's laws against that. You're violating all kind of Fair Housing Act. You're violating the Civil Rights Act. You know, there's so many things, so many ways you can go after people because that's discrimination. That's discrimination in housing, at least the Fair Housing Act. You can't devalue somebody's house because they're black. You can't do that. We have laws. We don't need no new ones. I'm telling you, they have a law for everything on the book. Trust me. Trust me on that. Now let's get back to Vice President Kamala Harris here. Of course, you know, as we read earlier, you know, the others part, that's the trick bag language, championing education, training, mentorship programs that help black men get good paying jobs in high demand industries and lead their communities, including pathways to becoming teachers. The problem with teachers is you got a twofold problem. One, these kids today, and it's y'all fault in the government, these kids today are raised with no home training. A lot of teachers don't go to college and all of that to put up with children acting like heathens because that's the way they were raised. That's number one. Number two, they are not paid enough for that crap. Our teachers are underpaid and they have to literally be gladiators in some places. Who wants to be if a teacher, and I've seen it, if a teacher put them paws on one of these kids, y'all want to arrest them. When that kid put their hands on that teacher first. You understand? Who wants to teach these children in these public schools when they're not getting paid And there's no respect for adults. And I remember, because I'm old enough to remember it, I remember when that came in, and it was the Democrat Party that brought that mess in. It wasn't the Republicans. It was the Democrats. If your parents spank you, tell us at school. If they hit you or do whatever, tell us. And when parents are getting arrested for it, that changed society. It's a difference with discipline versus abuse. Abuse is, you shouldn't be punching your kid in the face. No. You shouldn't be using objects and beating a child with it and leaving all kind of bruises and cuts and blood and all. You shouldn't be breaking a child's bones. You shouldn't be doing none of that. That is not discipline. That is abuse. But if a parent pull out the belt and give a swat on the butt to that child because they do not want to spoil their child. The Bible teaches spare the rod, spoil the child, and that's the problem in America. So y'all came in here, told every parent that if they do that, they're being abusive. And then parents are afraid to do anything like that. Now, some states you can do corporal punishment as parents, but I would say seek out maybe a lawyer before you choose to do it, just to find out what's legitimate or not. But a lot of parents don't even want to cross that line, right? These kids know their parents not going to cross that line. This is why these kids cuss in school. It's why these kids have no respect. These kids can bring cell phones to class. They can do whatever. And if a teacher say, hey, put the phone up or give me the phone, they're fighting teachers. They're body slam. Listen, this one story I covered on the Emancipation Media. They had a student fighting in his class. Now, he had some mental health issues, but he still was fighting the teachers. And I think she was assistant principal of this pschool right here. I think in Texas. He threw a desk, and the teacher had, put her hand and swiped the desk away that he threw in midair. But when she did that, he picked up another object and threw this piece of wood at her, struck the teacher, in the eye. I think the assistant principal in the eye. The sister lost her eye. Who wants to go to school and lose an eye? Who? Because y'all don't have no control. See, in other countries, they got control of their kids. That's why their kids don't do it, because it's on and popping if you disrespect a teacher in other countries. Go to them Asian countries. Go to them African countries. Go to some of them Latin American countries. They got something for you. Send your kids to them countries and see how they going to act. They're not going to act up in them schools. They got something for them. Now, they say support a regulatory framework for cryptocurrency and other digital assets so black men who invest in or own these assets are protected. Well, I thought y'all didn't like cryptocurrency. Now all of a sudden y'all like it. But, because Trump talked about cryptocurrency, I guess she got to, take that idea too. Launch-a national health equity initiative focused on black men that addresses sickle cell, diabetes, mental health, prostate cancer, and other health challenges that disproportionately impact them. Then we talk about the marijuana thing. Now, this is another thing that I take issue in. I thought about this today, ladies and gentlemen, because this may take me 2 days to go through this stuff completely. Why is it Trump or Harris being bold to say, you know what, cancer is an issue? We're going to eradicate cancer in my 4 years. Just like they said they was going to eradicate polio and the measles and all these different things like that. Why haven't they came up with that? Saying we're going to throw the kitchen sink at cancer. You understand? Like they threw the kitchen sink at the COVID. Why haven't thrown the kitchen sink at cancer? Think about it. If a president, whether it's her or him, be the person that actually throw the kitchen sink and actually get cancer cured or cancer become like the common cold at that point, they would be like, oh my God, America has solved another major thing, and they don't want to. Because you know why? They corrupt. They all corrupt. The politicians, the pharmaceutical, the food companies, they all corrupt. They don't want to solve anything. They get on my nerves. You talking about you got all this money for war, but let's throw some of them billions of dollars at curing cancer. We got great doctors in this country. Let's get it done. But y'all don't want to get it done. Y'all want people sick. Now you talking about lowering costs and give black men the tools they need to build wealth, provide for their families. Okay, all right. So you say no, the costs are too high for black men, and that well, of course, it's high for black women too, and other Americans. If they have long been denied the tools, okay, same thing, repeating the same thing. She will ensure black men can build wealth and achieve success, economic success by, and she's just kind of repeating herself in this thing here. She's talking about the startup expenses she talked about. It's not really a whole lot that she's saying in here. And she's said she would unnecessarily cut red tape that makes it hard for small businesses to file taxes, hire a reliable workforce, and get it off the ground. Once again, why don't you just say, I'm going to give a $50,000 grant to small businesses? And you could take that $50,000 grant and you can apply it to employee wages. You can apply it to whatever, right? I'm just saying. Now, she continues, that's why she's proposing a new partnership with the SBA and trusted partners on the ground to provide loans that are forgivable up to $20,000 to entrepreneurs. So you're talking about a $20,000 loan. And how can it be forgiven? How? Now, you just said you was going to forgive student loan debt, and you see how that crashed and burned. So how are you going to do this, right? I'm just saying. We're not going to go through every bit of this because it's kind of being repetitive, but you can look it up yourself. Expanding access to bank accounts and lending to help black men build wealth. They say she's going to work with the private sector to expand access to affordable banking options to allow black men and others who are locked out of the banking system and the wealth building that comes with it because of high fees to save, invest, and build credit. She said she'll go after banks to slap on hidden fees for basic services. She's talking about how she took on predatory lenders. Well, why didn't your DOJ do this during office? I'm just wondering. She will stand up for Americans who are exploited by predatory lending practices, but going after these scammers and requiring credit reports to exclude bad debt resulting from predatory lending practices. Well, your boy Obama didn't lock none of the people up in jail that caused actually the 2008 financial crisis. He said they were too big to fail, and none of them went to jail. They should have went to jail. Enable black men to hold digital assets to benefit from financial innovation. They're talking about cryptocurrency here, breaking down unfair and unnecessary barriers for employment of black men. How you going to do that, ma'am? Let me tell you something. What's actually a barrier for black men right now? Let me get into what's a barrier. All those migrant men that you brought in here, ma'am, that's an even greater barrier to black men. Why is that? Why is that a greater barrier to black men? It's a greater barrier to black men because, ma'am, those migrant men is going to go do a job cheaper. And they can do a job cheaper because your administration, along with the cities, are giving these migrant men free place to stay. They're giving them free food stamps, okay? Free food stamps. They're giving them EBT, all free. Black men can't listen, if I'm getting free food and a free place to stay, then shoot, man, low wages okay. Black men got to pay full price for their food, full price for a place to stay, right? They have to work for what they get. You understand? If black men commit crimes, they go to jail. These migrant men, they go in there about 5 minutes, they let right back out. So really, that's what's a barrier right now. On top of the systemic barriers that was already in this country prior to those migrant men being let in. You didn't even address the systemic barriers in your 4 years. And then on top of the systemic barriers, you put millions and millions of migrant men on top of that systemic barrier for black men. How are you going to do that? Oh, you going to deport them all? That'd be one way to help black men. And then after that, deal with the systemic barriers. Doesn't make sense. Now, the Lion and the Ox says, am I the only one that finds it disrespectful that she waited until 20 days before the election to put up an agenda for black men? It's disgusting and nasty. Oh, hey, y'all, I'm just going through it for y'all for informational purposes. So you can't say, hey, Phil didn't even talk about it. Oh, yeah, I'm talking about it. Enable black men and other workers to profit when company executive profit. Right now, black employment rates are at all-time highs, but too few black Americans own assets that build wealth over time. Vice President Harris has a plan to help black men own more assets by reforming our tax laws. No. Let me tell you what's going to fix it here in a minute. To reward employer participation in employee stock ownership plans, profit sharing plans, and comparative arrangements with appropriate guardrails to ensure these plans benefit and protect workers. Giving low and moderate income workers a stake in the business has been shown to close the racial wealth gap and fuel business growth. It's a win-win proposition. Ma'am. Now let me get to this. The only way you can close the wealth gap, there's only one way. Ladies and gentlemen, what it is. There's only one way to close it. You can't lift all programs, don't close it. You understand? Let me give you an example. Do I have another one here somewhere? I can just show you my pen and my eraser here. Okay, so if black people are here and white people are here, right? There's a gap in between this. Lift all programs, don't do nothing but this. It keeps the wealth gap probably out of frame. But let me go lower frame, right? So black people here, white people here. Lift all, it still keeps the same. What would actually get the wealth gap closed? One word, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Reparations. So if white folks are here, black people are here, reparations is supposed to take black folks here. Now when black folks are equal to white folks, then we can do lift all programs. You understand? And we all are lifted up equally. But as long as you keep lifting up everybody, that doesn't close the wealth gap whatsoever. And your party, ma'am, in California, where you from, sabotage reparations. If you want to really help black men help their families, reparations. And you don't want to hear reparations. So miss me with all that. You can just do reparations and we can start our own companies. We don't have to worry about begging these folks for nothing. See, that's the thing. Black Americans are telling you this. Give us our reparations. We create our own jobs. We ain't got to beg nobody for a job. Trust me, it's freedom in creating your own job. Listen, if you make a $200 working for yourself, it's a lot better than making $200 working for these folks. Or if our people can create enough businesses where we can go work for black people. You understand what I'm saying? Because at least if I go work for a black person, I'm not worried about them looking at me funny because of my hairstyle. If working for a black person, I ain't got to deal with Karen and her crap. Reparations is the only thing that's going to close the wealth gap. And you Democrats, you claim that you are a friend. But in California, the Democrat hub, the Democrat Central, they shut down reparations. But let's get back to what we talking about here. Expanding pathways for black men to get good paying jobs, whether or not they have college degrees. Well, beyond which, the day of the college degree, that's almost about over. The skilled trades is where it's at, fellas. If not skilled trades, tech, STEM for sure. If you're gonna go to college, STEM field. Hey, you become a plumber, welder, electrician. Something that's I say, nation building jobs. CDL. We'll also eliminate necessary degree requirements to promote meaningful pathways for those without college degrees for 500,000 federal jobs. And she will challenge the business community to do the same. That she will set a goal to double the number of registered apprenticeships in America by the end of her first term, which provide quality job training in high-demand industries with clear pathways to a good-paying job. Now, I'm curious about this. All of a sudden, y'all want to eliminate all this degree requirements, and you say you want to do this for black folks, but I don't believe that. I think you want to do this for migrants, because migrants not coming in here with college degrees. So you want to put some of these migrants in these jobs, but you want to say, hey, it's for black people. See, I'm helping black people. And then you slide migrants in. We know how y'all move, Democrats. Providing more pathways for black men to become teachers and school leaders. We kind of talked about that, Now, this is the problem, too. I want y'all to see this. Only 1% of public school teachers are black men. Vice President Harris built a pipeline of black male teachers, including investing in programs under the Department of Education, which Trump wants to eliminate, to collaborate with historically black colleges and universities. And look at here, minority serving institutions. That's the trick bag language, y'all. We got to catch the trick bag language in what these people say. CNN is not going to do that for you. MSNBC is not going to catch the trick bag language for you because they're on the take with it. Okay? That will empower black men. Empower black men and others. See that language? And others. And we know the minority serving institutions and others are going to benefit a lot more than the black men will. Hello. To enter and succeed in the teaching profession, where they can serve as role models and mentors to students and improve academic outcomes, Vice President Harris will expand registered apprenticeships for teachers and continue to support and strengthen the public service loan forgiveness program to recruit and retain black male teachers, which Trump tried to eliminate as president. Statistics have shown black student retention rates and overall success is increased when they have at least one black male teacher during their elementary school years. I will agree with that to a point about that last point. My little girl got a teacher and a brother. He's a brother. And what I like about the brother, he owned they behind about their work, and they all respect him. They all respect him. Even if they have an issue in another class with another teacher, they go tell him, right? And me and that brother, we tight. I remember last year he was like, actually, we just came back from South Africa. I said, "Hey, bro, I'm gonna bring you something back. What you want?" And so he said, "Man, like what they got to drink?" I said, "I got you." I said, "I'm bringing some Amarula back." He said, "Boy, I brought him back. He was so tickled to death about that. I didn't tell him, give me some money. No, man. He looks out. So I gave him this. And man, me and my wife love this, man. He said, man, when you going back? Cause I want something else. So." You got a brother that's a good teacher, I'm not saying the sisters are great too, but, there's not many brothers out there teaching. I mean, that's true. So if you have a brother that's a good teacher, and he's staying on business, and he old school, with it and everything. So, shout out to brother, so let's continue. Okay, so providing financial support to financially stressed farmers and ranchers, including black farmers and ranchers. Look at the term, including. So that means that's for everybody. That's for everybody. See, so in the midst of this so-called thing for black men, this is for everybody. You understand? And it's talking about, recently, the money that distributed more than $2 billion to more than 43,000, including thousands of black farmers and ranchers. See, every time it's something for black people, it's always the slip in of minorities, others. Look out for those words, distressed communities, minority serving institutions. Because listen, if you're talking about black folks, you're talking about HBCUs, not minority serving institutions, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, you're right, DJ Brown Sugar. He said, at least she's consistent. I am not only going to do something for black men, no. Yeah. Hold on, let me play that.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Hey, she told that truth, though. I'll give her that. Providing black men and their families reliable, low-cost internet access. I don't hear too many black men talking about they can't get the internet. I just haven't heard that. Relieving the burden of medical debt so black men can take advantage of opportunities to build wealth and start businesses. Well, one way to do that, and this is where I'm gonna go. I'm more so a policy person. Why isn't she now? She don't support this. Why isn't she for Medicare for all then? Eliminate it. Make the government pay for our health care. They got other countries who got health care and they don't even have the GDP America has. America has some of the worst medical debt, and Americans have some of the worst overall health than any other country. Why? Because our country don't prioritize our health. Sure, you could actually have some great health in America if you go to a private clinic. Like you want to go get the executive physical in America, I think in Houston they say it can range from $1,000 to $10,000. Well, they check you for everything. and you there 6-7 hours. Now that basic physical, we talking about the executive physical, right? Most of these people who live forever, they don't leave the country. They just go to these private clinics. And yes, in America, if you got money, you can live a little while longer. You can, but they don't prioritize the health. They don't. No Democrat, other than I think Bernie Sanders said it, was okay, well, let's do Medicare for all then. I agree with that. Listen, I actually agree with Medicare for all, and I agree with universal child care. How could you want parents to work and they don't have nowhere to take care of their kids? I think that daycares should be subsidized by the government. Because this is how I think. If parents have a place to put their children that's subsidized by the government, more parents can work. More parents working means more tax revenue. See where that goes? More people working, more taxes. But they don't. But I don't know. Maybe I just I didn't go to school for all that, but I'm just using common sense. All right. Ooh, we getting close. She will also make it a top priority to lower the cost of black men by revitalizing competition in food and groceries and enacting the first federal ban. The issue is, ma'am, we need to remove all food dyes out of our food, high fructose corn syrup out of our food. We need to remove emulsifiers, soy, dairy. We need to remove all that mess out of our food if you want people to be healthy, and eliminate ultra processed and heavily processed foods to minimally processed foods to no processed food if you want to actually save America. And I don't know how you're going to stop corporate price gouging. I don't know how you're going to do that. All right. So low end rent, we talked about that earlier. You're talking about tripling the first time home buyers. We talked about that kind of earlier. Fighting the interracial bias and home appraisals. You should be doing that now. Why later? Now. Helping reduce costs for black men with children through tax cuts. Okay. Let's keep it 100. The only black men benefit from a tax cut unless they're married or a single father, and the mother is either passed away, incarcerated, or she just, some women are deadbeats too, right? Not just men, they're all deadbeat mothers. A lot of men don't have their kids solely, like I said, unless they're married or they're a single father. So not too many men benefit from child tax credit, just be honest with you, unless they're married, okay? And not all men have children. Actually, the majority of black men don't have children. It's only a small pool of black men that have children, okay? Helping black men provide for their care for their aging parents. And almost 40% of caregivers of older adults are men. 1/3 of that group is black. Harris will help black men with caregiving needs, providing home care services through Medicare so that seniors are able to get to the care they need while staying in their homes. Okay, that's great. But why haven't she done it in these 4 years? Cutting taxes for black men in lower wage jobs by increasing the earned income tax credit maximum to $1,500, so that more of the money they can make go toward achieving their dreams, like building a business. If you lower wage, it's a little bit harder to get there. But okay, I hear you. So she would ensure black men have higher access to affordable health care. How's she going to do that? Talking about launch a national health equity initiative for black men. Like I said, I think it should be for black people. And they're going through the $35 a month, a prescription drug cost. They're talking about that. I think she's kind of, somebody she's paying the budget for the National Institute of Minority Health and Health Disparities, fully fund the sickle cell data collection program, and build a sickle cell database to improve prevention and treatment. How about we work on a cure? Why don't we work on a cure instead of treatment? Treatment just put money in the pocket of the pharmaceutical companies and the hospitals. But the cure is actually better. But, you can't make billions of dollars a year off of people who's cured. You're going to make billions of dollars off of people that you can just treat. All right. Mike C. say her campaign is done. I hear you, Mike. I hear you. All right. Investments in HBCU, MSI, medical schools, and healthcare. See, that MSI, minority serving institution thing, is a problem. So we told you white women is a minority, white gay people is a minority. Just not, we ain't gonna talk about all the others. We just talking about white people right there. So no, not minority anything. HBCU, yes. All right. So protect and strengthen the Affordable Care Act. Keep health insurance premiums down. Well, you didn't do a good job of that during your presidency or your vice presidency because they're through the roof. Protect access to clean air and clean water. Why didn't you do that now? There's a thing called Cancer Alley in Louisiana where black people live, and these people are allowed to release all kind of toxic fumes. And these black people who live in this area gets cancer hands down. They get it, right? Now, how much more we got here? I may have to. Well, I can finish this off real quick. We're going to go over a little bit. She'll fight for black men to protect the rights of black men. All right. As we enact policy to live the black, we must remove the barriers that break down unjust legal barriers to hold black men and other Americans back by legalizing marijuana nationally. Yeah, that's what she put in there. That's everybody get high, guys. Working with Congress to ensure the safe cultivation, distribution, and possession of recreational marijuana is the law of the land. She will also fight to ensure that the national cannabis industry takes shape. Black men who have for years been over police for marijuana use, which you was a part of, ma'am. You locked a lot of black people up for that. Oh, man. That's interesting. And are about able to access wealth and jobs in this new market. That's interesting. Build trust between law enforcement and the communities they serve. They keep talking about common sense reform like George Floyd Justice and Policing Act with bans, chokeholds, no-knock warrants. We've heard this before. Community-oriented policing. None of that was done during the administration, so I'm calling some of that cap. Invest in improving community violence intervention programs. Why haven't you done that now? You don't have to wait till you get in office to do that. Protect the right to vote. I mean, we do have a right to vote. I don't know no black person. I'm a black man, and I'm going to vote next week. Nobody's ever stopped me from voting, and I live in a red state, and nobody's ever stopped me from voting. Okay, so she's talking about that. And let me tell you something. No, what you were talking about here is you want to get the migrants the opportunity to get in here and vote. Why we need all these John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act and Freedom to Vote Act, talking modernize elections, expand vote by mail. Yeah, that right there. And I'm not going to say no more than that. Y'all know what happened last election. Early voting. I don't mind early voting being expanded. And put in the partisan gerrymandering. Gerrymandering is an issue. That is. Reduce corrupting influence of money in politics. That been needed to happen, that part. And then she also surged resources to the Department of Justice to investigate and crack down on those suppressing or obstructing black Americans from exercising their right to vote. Right here, this is censorship. Right there. Because what do you mean by crack down on those suppressing, obstructing black Americans from their exercising their right to vote? Who's doing that? Who's physically stopping somebody from voting? You understand? See, somebody can say all day, Phil, don't vote, Phil, don't do this. I'm like, well, Phil got a brain. If Phil gonna vote, he choose to. And he choose not to, he don't choose not to. That's censorship, and she's talking about using the Department of Justice, y'all, to crack down on First Amendment rights. Yeah, that's not cool, ma'am. That's not cool at all. The lion and the ox said, thank you for you always give us focus on the issue of solution. God bless you in Christ's name. Well, God bless you in the name of the Lord too. So yeah, that part is very, very problematic for me right there. She wants to send the DOJ after people. Man, out of all this that I didn't like, some things I say okay about, but that right there, I have a problem with anybody talking about they're going to use the DOJ to go after constitutional protected speech. And then here it says, she's led long efforts to ensure the security and prosperity of black men. No, you didn't, ma'am. You wouldn't have locked up all them black men you locked up. You wouldn't have locked up that brother Jamal Truelove and had him sentenced to 50 years, ma'am. You wouldn't have. And his case he had to stay 6 years in the California prison. His case overturned on appeal. Talking about taking on corporations, discriminating against black Americans as she's Attorney General. Man, come on, man. Working alongside Biden. All this is cap. What I'm reading there, man. Okay, Trump. And she go through all this stuff with Trump. I'm not about to go through that repeat mess with Trump. If y'all want to read that mess, she keeps repeating. She sounds like a broken record, like you say back in the day. Repeating the same old. So we went through it. and we identified that the trick language saying black men and others. We saw minorities serving institutions. When it came to the farmers, they said, yeah, we're going to do this for farmers, which includes black farmers. So how you going to say something's for black men and including others, minorities serving institutions, and things like that, right? Then you want to use the DOJ to go after people who are so-called suppressing or obstructing black people from voting. You're making a threat of jail in something that's supposed to help black men who have been the biggest victim of mass incarceration. Like, my God. Like, have you no shame, ma'am? You want to mass incarcerate people on a thing that's supposed to be for black men. Then you insult black men talking about, I'm going to legalize that good weed for y'all. That's going to be for black men. You can go ahead and get blazed. You said about 150,000 guaranteed grant for black men to start businesses and 225,000 homeowners grant for black men. 3 put trades back in high school. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, you're right. That's that ski weed for you. She always trying to find a way to put somebody in jail. But, ladies and gentlemen, we went through it, and we pointed out the language. You can go through it on your own too. It's on her website. You're welcome to go see it. We went through it in its entirety. We went over a little bit, but we went over its entirety. And hey, you can go and judge for yourself on your own, right? Some of you have already voted. Some of you have voted whoever you voted for. I don't know. Some say they voted against blue. I don't know what that means. I mean, I know what it means, but I don't know who you voted for, and it's not my business who you voted for. But if early voting is in your state, please vote this week. I'm going to vote next week. I'm going to be there with bells on Monday morning. You better believe that. After I get out the gym and get my shower, I'm heading right on out of here and going vote. That's for sure. And I can't wait. I'm looking forward to casting my ballot. And I hope y'all cash our ballot as well. Cash your ballot. And because all this talking about what they not doing or what she not doing don't make sense if you're not going to cash the ballot. It doesn't make sense. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for joining us tonight and bearing with us. We went over about 6 minutes, bearing with us here. We appreciate you. Make sure you download the African Diaspora News Channel app. Make sure you subscribe because I got people here, maybe some new people, right? We've been seeing a couple of new people showing up. So since you're here, hit the subscribe button. That's very, very important since you're new. That way you can come back and listen to all the great journalists that we have here talking about news from the United States, the continent of Africa. We got a lot of things going on, right? Also, click that like button. That's very important as well. When you click that like button, it increases the chances of other people seeing this and so they can see this breakdown of what Vice President Kamala Harris says she's going to do for black men, right? But make sure you download the African Diaspora News Channel app. When you get there, and you're downloading the Google Play, Apple App Store, hit create account. Then you get a monthly subscription, quarterly or yearly. Those subscriptions that especially, you do, whatever you choose, but monthly, whatever, it supports the platform 100%. There's no cuts. There's no nothing. It helps us. Like I said, we have so many plans going on. I'm telling y'all right now, I'm motivated. Right after the election, I'm going to start my new book because I want to see who's going to win the election. But I want to start my new book after the election, and I got a goal of hopefully getting that book done and have that book out before Christmas, and everything. So yeah, I got to start committing at least to maybe 1 book a year, 2 books a year. But I ain't wrote a book in a minute, so it's time. It's time for me to get out there. So hopefully I can get this done in November and have it out by Christmas. That way, if people want to read it. And yes, people say, well, why don't you do an audio book? I do enough audio booking right here, right? Sometimes you got to read. Reading is fundamental. Right. And they say, oh, black people don't like to read. I don't believe that. Some don't. But you need to read. It's very, very important. So thank y'all for listening. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see y'all on the next one.